Hi everybody. It's really nice to be back in an NCWO meeting. It's been a while. As Susan said, I'm with the National Gay and Lesbian Taskforce. We are proud members of the National Council of Women's Organizations. I asked Susan for some time today to talk to you about two things. What you're going to be getting in front of you is a copy of the most comprehensive survey that has ever been done on transgender discrimination. It was done nationally. Over 6,500 people filled it out. It is the largest database that exists on this very vulnerable population. Also is a look that carves out the experience for Latino people who are transgender. I give that to you as background because when you see the statistics in it, you will understand why passing the Employment Non-Discrimination Act is so critically important. You can still be fired for being gay in this country. You can still be fired for being, you can certainly be fired for being transgender. There are no federal protections in employment for people who are LGBT. There are some states that have protections. There are about 100 localities that have protections, and you'll see all of this data. But the fact of the matter is it's a patchwork quilt. There are 39 states that offer protections for sexual orientation. There is 28 states that provide protections on gender identity. So it is a mixed bag everywhere you look at it, and you don't have to go any further than our own backyard. Maryland declined to pass a gender rights protection anti-discrimination bill just in this last session. In the last Congress, members of the National Council of Women's Organizations signed on to a support letter that we sent out asking for organizations to support the passage of ENDA. I'm going to reissue that letter to you, and it will come out, and we will send it through the listserv for people to sign on to. You're getting all kinds of fact sheets today and FAQs about ENDA, and I'd be happy to take any questions you might have. But before that, I want to tell you about one more bill. My previous life with the National Council of Women's Organizations was as the executive director of OWL. And so I spent a number of years in the trenches working on women's issues in aging. And when I left OWL, I went to work at the National Gay and Lesbian Taskforce and am now the Director of Public Policy and Government Affairs. It was, in fact, a rather easy transition. And most of you understand what the special and unique issues are that face women as we age. And I want to tell you, it's not a broad leap from looking at the consequences of our life and how they impact us in midlife and aging. When you talk about women's economic security and retirement, women's access to health care, women's ability to have caregiving or be caregivers, it's almost in many ways a very much a mirrored reflection of what goes on in the LGBT community. Except in the LGBT community, we are twice as likely to live alone after 65. We are 4 times less likely to have children. And we are much more likely to not have people we can rely on to take care of us as we age. And so some of the consequences of our lives is that when we're old, we face all kinds of economic and social insecurity. Tammy Baldwin is about to introduce this summer an LGBT Aging Omnibus bill. And what I would like to do is send the bill to each of your organizations through our listserv with a sign-on letter that you all might consider signing on to have organizational support for the passage of the LGBT Omnibus bill. In it is a Social Security fix so that people who are same-sex and married will be able to get federal recognition and federal benefits such as Social Security. Tomorrow is the first ever hearing on Capitol Hill in the Senate Judiciary Committee on the Respect for Marriage Act, which would effectively repeal the second and third provisions of DOMA. And it would provide for federal recognition of same-sex married couples. Now, what's really exciting about this is about an hour ago, the White House came out and in support of passage for the Respect for Marriage Act. I seem calm, but inside I'm jumping up and down. So there's a lot of momentum going right now for our community. But that doesn't mean that we're home free, and it doesn't mean that we have the same kind of equal access under the law to protections that everyone else has. So I come to you today, and I promise to only take 5 minutes, because I know you have a jam-packed agenda. I'm not going to go through the documents and the information. I give it to you to read at your leisure. I will be following up with each of your organizations by email with specific asks. There is a letter that was written by the Leadership Conference on Civil and Human Rights in support of ENDA, and we will be circulating that letter in regards to ENDA. I will be circulating a letter from CAP about the LGBT Omnibus aging bill. So I'm done unless there are any specific questions, and we'll turn the mic back over to Susan.